Hi YouTubers, let's see what Guns of Boom has to say about the update 2.2 balance changes. They say, hello Gunslinger, this is the most detailed and announced balance changes information you've ever seen. Try to pace yourself or just might lose your sanity. Okay, now they start with assault rifle gameplay changes. Damage per hit is not the one and only stat that defines power level of a weapon, but of a particular weapon. It is also less popular but equally important stat like fire rate, recoil, and gun spread, and how it changes over time. With this update, the automatic rifles received a huge upgrade of those characteristics, so they are a lot more accurate and comfortable to play with. The automatic guns that were touched by these changes are Scattershot, Vampire, Lifestealer, Mamba, Destroyer. So assault rifle buffs, Slicer. Slicer used to be not good enough for a lot of our players because it couldn't compete with other assault rifles at dealing decent amount of damage at mid and long ranges. It had to compete with shotguns instead, but now it finally became a full member of the assault rifle club and even has a minimal damage increase to boot. So minimal damage increased by 125%. Next is Mamba, max damage increased by 23%. So I think these two assault rifles have been improved. Now assault rifle nerfs. Sting was conceived as a perfect weapon for attacking multiple opponents at once. The way you were supposed to use it was by setting several opponents on fire, while attacking only one enemy would cause a lot less damage, but the previous version would make your opponent burn for so long that you could basically melt them and run away without them even reacting. The duration of the burn effect is decreased from 5 to 2.5 seconds. This means a 2 times decrease of overall damage. The minimal shooting distance is decreased by 8%. Headshot multiplier is decreased from 1.6 to 1.3. Now rifle gameplay changes. Sniper rifle in Guns of Boom are used not only for the classic single target elimination but also for providing supporting fire at long distances. This is a task well suited for Quicksilver Scout and Undertaker, which are in forms of gameplay basically assault rifles with snipe scopes. We decided to make this division even more pronounced in the very stats of these rifles. Also, all rifles now have recoil in scope mode to make the experience more realistic. So the rifle buffs veteran minimal shooting distance decreased by 25%. Undertaker, the rifle doesn't pause before firing. The rifle doesn't fire in bursts anymore. Instead, the fire rate was increased by 10%. Quicksilver, the minimal distance required to make a shot was reduced by 25%, fire rate reduced by 17%, but the max damage increased by 122%, and the minimum damage is increased by 33%. Iceberg, the slowing effect works for 3 seconds instead of 2, but the slowing effect is weaker. Prometheus, headshot multiplier increased from 1 to 2. Liquidator, first shot damage increased by 8%. Damage of the explosion is increased by 8%. Headshot multiplier increased from 1 to 1.2. Now Manticore, despite the fact that the Manticore's peak was very strong, it worked very rarely and was ineffective in battle. Now the perk works in a predictable and stable way. Perk change. deals 25% more damage every 5 seconds before deals to 200% more damage once every 10 seconds if the player was not in battle. Charging time is decreased by 10%, minimal shooting distance decreased by 37%, rifle nerfs, ammo capacity decreased from 12 or 24 to 10 or 20, Falcon headshot multiplier decreased from 3 times 3 to times 2, damage per shot increased by 10%. Now shotgun gameplay changes. Out of all the secondary stat, recoil is most easily spotted on shotguns. With this update, we decreased it for some of them, making the gameplay more comfortable, and the shotguns with decreased recoil are Cerberus and battering ram. The shotgun buffs Tempest, slightly higher fire rate. Shotgun nerfs. The shotgun is a weapon that is at its best in close combat. Unfortunately, because of the small size of the maps, close combat is currently a very broad term. That's why we decided to change the shotgun's fire rate, range, and capacity. So, battering ram fire rate decreased by 17%, brawler fire rate decreased by 11%, ammo capacity decreased from 12 or 24 to 10 or 20, traitor general distance decreased by 9%, fire rate decreased by 12%, 12.5%, ammo capacity decreased from 11 bar 22 to 9 bar 16. Remedy general distance decreased by 9%, fire rate decreased by 17%. Ranger generally. Now coming to Ranger, general distance decreased by 10%, fire rate decreased by 17%, ammo capacity decreased from 9 bar 18 to 8 bar 16. Machine gun gameplay changes. With this update, we upgraded the machine guns in almost completely the same way that we upgraded the assault rifles. We made the gameplay more comfortable and accuracy higher by increasing the speed of the crosshair dynamic. Machine gun buffs, Fortuna damage per shot increased by 7%. Perks chance for activating is decreased from 9% to 11%. Persuader headshot multiplier is decreased from 2 times to 1.3 times. Damage per shot is increased by 33%. Crosshair dynamic speed increased by 10%. Anubis damage per shot increased by 6%. Spread while moving decreased. Crosshair dynamic added. Hydra speed while moving decreased. Starting fire rate increased by 60%. Reaching max fire rate instead of 2.5 seconds instead of 4. Crosshair dynamic decreased by 2 times. Machine gun nerfs. Hurricane admitted you've been really waiting for this one. The Hurricane used to live up to its name, maybe a little too much, wreaking havoc and death to all standing in its way, but only after reaching a certain upgrade level. That's why we tweaked the Hurricane's perk and damage, making it stronger early on but weaker in the later stages. Perk change restores 40, 50, 60, 85, 95, 115 HP per shot. Before restore 3%, 3.6%, 4.3%, 5.2%, 6.4%, 7.8% of max HP per shot. Damage per shot decreased by 16%. Before, the Hurricane had a damage of 277, but now it has a damage of only 235. This is with respect to Hurricane level 5. Pain ammo capacity decreased from 75 to 60. Bug fixed. Use to make mistakes during calculation of bonus damage now deals 15 to 20% less. So this is the best comment that, and it's on the top and it's on the highest. So let's just read out this comment because it's really good. It's by Al Joseph Jarin. For me, Ranger didn't need to be nerfed. It's hard to compete against Porcupine users already, and the Ranger is the next best thing. Is this a marketing strategy so people would buy gold to buy Porcupine? Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.